fresh developments over HS2 today as campaigners against the line say an internal government report is critical of the project. As you'll know, the multi-billion-pound high-speed rail link would cut through parts of South Northamptonshire. It was given the go-ahead earlier this year. Joe Rukin is from the campaign group Stop HS2. Joe, good evening. Good
evening, Annabel.
Good evening. What is this report then? Tell us more.
Well, it's a report from the Major Projects Authority, which was one of the first things the coalition set up. And obviously, it's the Major Projects Authority. It's designed to look into major projects in a sort of disparate view away from the department, like in this case, the Department for Transport, that's setting it up. And they've given it an amber red rating, which is the second worst rating. Basically, red itself is just don't do this. Amber red means that the successful delivery of the project is in doubt, with major risks apparent in a number of key areas. Urgent action in a number of key areas. Urgent action is needed to ensure that they are addressed and whether resolution is feasible, which basically means there's that many problems with this, we're not sure if you can fix it. And, you know, the real issue here is it's only by luck, by sheer luck, that we know about this report because the government intended to sit on it for an entire 2 years.
But you don't actually know what's in it. You only know that there is this amber red rating.
Well, that's it. No, that's the problem. We do not know what is in the report. All we know is that it's been given the amber red rating, which is we think that there's that many problems with it. You know, we're not sure if it's fixable. And the issue is that the government now are basically intending to sit on this report for another 2 years. So it won't become public. MPs won't even be able to see this until after they are asked to vote on HS2.
So have you asked for it to be released?
Absolutely. We've asked for it to be released. A number of MPs have now asked for it to be released as well as you know, other organisations like the Institute for Economic Affairs, the Taxpayers Alliance. But basically, we sort of stumbled on this one because what happened a couple of weeks ago, the Public Accounts Committee held an inquiry into High Speed 1. And most of the questions that they asked were actually about High Speed 2 because it seems that all the mistakes, all the problems, you know, all the errors that they did in terms of forecasting passengers that would never turn up and looking at the economic case the wrong way around, basically fiddling the figures so that the case for HS1 fit. They've done all of those things exactly the same with High Speed 2. And, you know, we've got the videos on our Stop HS2 YouTube channel, and you know, it's really worth looking at those because the Department for Transport figures get an absolute grilling, but the bottom line is that all we know is that HS2 has been given an amber red rating, which say, you know, major risks, not sure if a resolution is feasible, and the government intend, very much like the NHS risk assessment, to sit on it and not release it, not make it public, not even make it available for MPs until after they've had to vote on it.
But Joe,
this is ridiculous.
To be fair, OK, so you don't know what's in it. You also don't know that the government isn't doing anything about it. They may well be having meetings talking about it, talking about the things that have come out in this report and actually acting on it.
No, I'll tell you what they're doing is that they've advertised a load of jobs. So they're employing a spin doctor on 97 grand who's going to have a team of 60 underneath him. Now, that's what they're doing. They're trying to spin their way out of this. They're trying to, you know, create bluster with smoke and mirrors to try and get more people believing this is a good idea. Because, you know, we've seen today, say, for example, the press in Derby has picked up that this is a bad idea. And the idea that High Speed 2 is not going to do what it says on the tin, but it's just going to cost a great deal amount of money that which we can't afford, probably a lot more than the 33 billion that we're talking about, because, you know, you add tax and trains on it, comes out at 49 before you're looking at cost overruns. The message is getting across, and the Public Accounts Committee, you know, like the Transport Select Committee, whose advice the government completely ignored when, you know, they said they wanted more detail on a host of issues before the decision to go ahead. The Public Accounts Committee have been massively critical of this, and the government just well, forget it. David Cameron, before he was elected, he said he wanted not only to, cut down on, press officers in quangos, very much like the one on 97 grand who was advertised last week, but also, he wanted transparency. There was a transparency agenda. It was a shared commitment to enable the public to hold politicians and public bodies to account. Well, where is it?
But, Joe, a lot of people still say that the benefits of HS2 far outweigh the negatives.
Well, that's because they haven't actually paid any attention whatsoever to the plans. You're saying the benefits. The majority of the benefits derive from the cash value of time. They say that time is money. Well, they worked it out based on the idea that all time on trains is wasted. So you ever seen someone on a laptop or just with a pen and a bit of paper on a train, you're wrong, according to the Department of Transport. Everyone on a train earns £70,000 a year. And the best bit is, of course, that, if, you live in, say, the Solihull area, and you go from Birmingham International currently, because obviously there aren't going to be any stations between London and Birmingham International. But if you say you work in the city now in the Solihull stockbroker belt, you're probably going to get up at 6 in the morning to get to London for 9 in the morning, right? If your journey time is half an hour less, what are you going to do? Are you going to get up at 6 still, or are you going to spend half an hour longer in bed? Okay. Of course you are. And that's where the benefits are coming from, though. The
Joe,
cash value of time. Major Projects Authority report making public.
Okay.
Like the NHS risk assessment, we need to see what it says.
Joe, thank you very much.